there, and he wasn't even the Patriots' first pick of the 6th round. You know what I mean? So it's not like, and I hate talking about the Patriots like they knew. You would have took him in the 2nd or the 3rd. They didn't know.
Right.
You get to the 6th, and you're like, all right, we got Drew Bledsoe, who is a Hall of Famer, who's got numbers that are crazy. He doesn't get respect.
Hall of Famer?
And Drew Bledsoe with the numbers, he's not there, and he hasn't been there because his numbers don't rival this passing era. But if you look at his numbers, he's going to get there.
That's something for another day.
Bledsoe is going to get there.
You think a Hall of Famer? I don't think Drew Bledsoe was ever like the best quarterback in the NFL.
And that's why so much time has gone by and he's not in. But he's going to get in.
Eventually.
Do you think so? I don't see it.
It's going to be hard because this era, the numbers are passing him by.
Sure.
And then what you're talking about, he didn't have the influence in the era. So that's going to kind of weigh him down too. So Drew, your time, like the clock is ticking.
What do you want him to do?
Jump in front of Peyton somehow, because once Peyton goes in, then you're just looking at that new era. So you know what? Maybe Drew Bledsoe isn't a Hall of Famer.
I don't think he's
But it's not because of the numbers.
Right.
It's not because of what he did at his time.
Yeah.
It's about the numbers now. That's just gonna, now everybody's freaking Air Coryell. You know what I mean? Everybody's airing it out. When it wasn't, it's more rare back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody had that running back.
Right.
But now the running back's kind of coming back.
So
don't get me started there.
Like Saquon, you heard of Saquon Barkley?
Don't get me started there either.
Yeah, now we're getting running backs again.
Yo, so to bring it back, where is Drew Brees on your list?
Of this era?
Of this era.
Oh, of this era, or not all time?
It'd be hard to do of all time.
Is Marino in our era?
No.
So of this era, I got Aaron Rodgers, I got Peyton Manning, I got Tom Brady, Drew Brees.
Roethlisberger, Rivers.
Oh, I would take Brees over. I would take Brees over. I have him at 4. I would take him over Big Ben, and I love Big. Yeah. Drew Brees is a far better quarterback than Big Ben. Really?
I'll say it again.
He might be better than Brady, but not Big Ben.
I'm just saying that he's not far better because I've seen Big Ben get hit by trucks of linebackers and shake them and then make throws. And if we're gonna say that,
then Cam Newton is better than Drew Brees too. Then, or like Michael Vick and Elvin.
Well, I'm saying Roethlisberger has the numbers. After he's making those throws, Cam's not.
He's definitely a Hall of Fame.
But no,
Cam's not doing it.
Oh man, Tom Brady. Just because how are you gonna go against the guy that's been there so many times? Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. I guess he's 4. But I think that Big Ben is right there. Rivers is underrated criminally underrated. Phillip Rivers.
He's underrated, but he's overrated as well to me. I feel like he's hot and cold. Like as far as he's underrated because we don't talk about him enough. But if you watch enough of him, you're like, yo, he's not doing that much. Like he makes a lot of mistakes in key spots.
Yep,
I agree with that.
Which is why he hasn't won.
Right.
And the reason that we overrate him is because we're like, all right, Eli's got 2, Ben's got 2.
Right.
He's due. He's going to get a couple.
And his numbers are...
but we don't watch the games.
Right.
Nobody's watching the 4 o'clocks when he's playing whoever.
Right.
So you see how many yards he passes for. You don't know it's garbage time.
Right.
You also don't look at the INTs. And then when he doesn't win, you're like, he should have.
Right. And they never go anywhere. Like, they never get far. Like, they've been to the AFC Championship game once, I think. I remember against the Patriots. The year that we actually beat the Patriots the first year. They were there. And they're just either out of the playoffs or first.
Yeah, when LT was there, they had plenty of chances. They had a kicker that missed one, I think, against the Jets, and then LT got hurt.
Yeah.
When LT got hurt, Rivers had a knee operation and played that same week. So then they were shading LT about why can't you play? It's the biggest game of your career, right? So they didn't win that year. I think there was 3 years in a row where they were winning 12 games and 13 games, but then they didn't get it done, right? And I don't know who that's on. Maybe Merriman and his, sideways edge up. It wasn't lights out in those games, right? But Rivers is criminally underrated. And he's going to go in the Hall of Fame the year after Eli. Ben's going to go first.
I would think he gets...
It's going to be all this era. Ben's going to go first because we hate Eli as a person for some reason. Eli's going to go... Well, they might go together, but Eli's going to go after Ben, if not with them. And then Rivers is going to go right after. Because people feel like we have to love Phillip Rivers for some reason.
I love Phillip, man.
We feel like he's the redheaded stepchild because we think that he deserves to have the W's and the rings.
Give him a ring, man.
He's
can't give him a ring. What year?
You got him in the Super Bowl this year, don't you?
I do have him in the Super Bowl.
You got them winning it
and
too?
I got them losing.
You want to give them a ring, but you got them losing.
What to who? You got an NFC team? Minnesota. Yeah.
I'm big on Kirk Cousins too. But
he's playing.
I don't know why. I'm not going to get into Kirk Cousins. I am not going to get into him. But
where's he in that list?
Kirk? He's not the best quarterback in his division. I might take Matt Stafford over Kirk Cousins.
I can't stand Matt Stafford.
I can't stand Kirk Cousins. I just don't think he's all that good. I think he's that whole gunslinger term. Like, they just let them guys throw it around and throw 5 picks. As long as you throw the game-winning touchdown, we're all good.
I don't want to win.
I need boost. 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 Ain't no ties, cut them loose. Yeah. Ain't no ties, cut them loose. I need boost. 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 Ain't no ties, cut them loose. Ain't no ties, cut them loose. Cut them. Ain't no ties, cut them loose. Cut them loose.
So I do these Instagram posts, right, on Designated Reports and on Instagram page. And one of the more interesting ones that I did as of late was, which was the biggest NBA draft error? Was it the Blazers taking Odin over Kevin Durant, or was it Detroit taking Darko Milicic over Carmelo Anthony back in 2013?
I feel like I know what I can't vote on your joints lately because they're so good.
Janelle,
I said the same thing.
Janelle's
so
cheating.
tight.
He votes one on his page, and then he goes on his photography page and votes the other.
Yeah, you can do that. I can't do that.
I'm like, dude, make up your mind.
I can't. I'm not convicted. So if you're just like, oh, word, then I got to be like, nah, I don't know. But on that one, I feel strongly that I know that it's Darko. I know. Do you agree?
He doesn't agree.
Really?
He doesn't.
You think that the biggest draft mistake, well, out of the two.
Oh, the bigger one, right.
You thought they should have took KD after 1 year of him being 150 pounds and scoring a bunch of buckets at Texas over a revolutionary big man?
Again, knowing what I know now, absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason why I say that is the year that they drafted Damian Lillard was 2012, if I'm not mistaken. 2011, they got bounced from the playoffs. I forget who they played. But their lineup was LaMarcus Aldridge. Mm-hmm. They had Nicholas Batum. They had...
He was good.
Yes. He was really good. They had... who else was on that squad? The dude that went to Dallas.
Wesley Matthews.
Matthews. Yeah. And somebody else. But for me to think that 2011 Kevin Durant on that team couldn't have made a push.
Oh, of course.
I feel like, especially in the West at that time, I feel like that was the biggest thing. And then knowing what I know now about KD and his game and the way that it's developed, I think Portland would be a much better, much bigger market than it is now.
But here's why you're wrong. Is the 5 words you just said.
Finna chip in.
Knowing what I know now, right?
Right.
When you're drafting, I'm talking about draft day. You can't look at him and say that he's gonna fall apart and he's never gonna play. If you know that, of course you go with KD.
Okay.
And at this point in time, knowing what you know now, because it's KD over Melo, right? Mm-hmm. KD is still like in his prime and can really do some great things, and Melo is my favorite player of all time. But
is he really?
Yeah. But he is what he is, right? KD is a better player than Melo right now. So you're not taking them against each other, right? But KD is much better than Odin. But the reason is because we never knew what Odin could turn into.
Sure.
He only played, I think he had 1 season in full. And the numbers were pretty decent. But you can't, that's like saying Derrick Rose won the MVP young and he fell off. Right. It's like, no, his knees fell off, his legs. He didn't fall off. So when it comes to Odin, it's like he was a generational talent. That's why and you wanted that position. Mm-hmm. That's why Jordan went number 3.
Right.
You knew what you knew that Jordan was going to be something special, but Hakeem was number one, right? Nobody talks about that. They just talk about Sam.
Bowie.
Nobody talks about Jordan should have been number one, and you know why? Because Hakeem was what he was at his position, and they wanted him, that talent at that position. Portland wanted that talent at that position. I don't know what the roster was when they were drafting, but they're probably looking at body type, production, influence, and said, man, this guy could really eat up space. You know, you don't want to compare anybody to Shaq, but he could have ate up space and done some great things. 20 and 10 guy.
Are they getting Damian Lillard though? If they have, like, if KD's on that team that you mentioned prior years before they drafted Damian Lillard in 2012, they wouldn't have a top 10 pick. They wouldn't.
I'm saying they wouldn't necessarily need a Damian Lillard if that's the case.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I think my barometer for like seeing that Darko was clearly the bigger error for Detroit, because Detroit just came off winning a championship, right?
True.
And you got Carmelo, who is the best player in the country as
Also
a freshman,
off a championship
with Syracuse, shocked the world, beat Kansas, who was loaded that year with Heinrich and Nick Collison and those guys. And you have what Detroit lacked all those years was a go-to scorer.
A guy.
Right, that guy who could go and get a bucket. And you pass on him to get a big man that you didn't need. You had Ben Wallace, you had Rasheed Wallace, you had depth at the big position that you didn't need Darko, no matter how special you thought he was going to be, for you to not take a known, like Melo was like, you know he's going to come in there, he's going to give you 20 right off the rip. Yeah. And it's like, and then to see them lose the following year against the Spurs in the finals, when they couldn't buy a bucket down the stretch, I was just pulling my, I'm like, you could have taken a guy that would have given you this, but then your argument when we talked offline was, Melo's not clutch. And then I sent you a video sending you a bunch of clutch Melo shots.
And I told you.
A lot of these?
A lot of those. Even before that in Denver, he was clutch in Denver.
And that's fine. I'm not saying that he didn't make big buckets. I'm saying that I bet none of those games were after game 50 in the season. Like Melo.
Why would you say that? That's Wait, so
what has Melo done to make me believe that he's clutch?
He's been on very bad teams for a while now.
So then he should be doing a lot more than he was doing.
But the argument though is he better than Darko?
I know we're getting off a little bit.
So and so is better than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To finish my thought, it's you know that Darko was trash. Because he played it out. He had a shot and it didn't work with him. With Odin, you don't know. You don't know what Odin was or wasn't. He didn't have a chance. And that's why you got to say you take Melo over Darko every time, because you know what you actually got out of him.
I just don't like Carmelo Anthony.
I was going to say that.
I don't like him.
That's personal. Okay.
I mean, Tayshaun Prince said it. Like, he said if the Pistons had drafted Melo instead of Darko, they would have won 4 championships.
But maybe
instead of 1.
Maybe the reason that KD and Melo weren't chosen was the same reason. That it's only 1 year, and it was 1 year of great production.
Maybe.
But is there a big difference between a high school guy that's scoring 50 a game, and this guy, like these two guys?
Right.
Is it risky? Right. Because all the high school guys that come in, we think, oh no, all of them made it. Because Kobe did, and the kid made it. And then we're thinking like, no though.
Right.
So you look at KD, and I think at the combine, he had said he couldn't even lift the bar, the empty bar.
I think we talked about that.
So you're going to take that guy number 1?
Nah, I feel you.
I don't know.
I knew KD was going to be special, to be honest with you. At Texas, like, he just looked different, bro. There looked something different about him, the way he was able to put the ball in the basket. I didn't know he was going to be this guy. I can never say I saw that coming. But I knew he was going to be able to get me at least 20 points on any given night. And I would have went with KD over Greg Oden, but the bigger mistake was absolutely Detroit would have won the championship the following. Didn't they make 3 straight finals after that?
I think so, yeah.
Like, and they didn't win again. So it's like, dude, you ruined your shot of winning 2 or 3 straight championships in a row.
Young fella preach, can't nobody do it like me. I've been out here running through the streets, pack full of sneaks. That just mean I ain't finna make it back home for about another week. All of my line, nowadays I don't got the time. I'm just trying to move through the vine. You been on mine, that just mean I been steady living, but at times you get a piece of my mind. I'm just like, Lord, I don't know why. They can never look me in my eye, tugging on you. Only time they get me to the truth, till I throw them up like the dudes, running on fumes, yeah. I've been on fumes.
And with that, like, we're into the NBA season, right? The NBA season is in flow, and LA Bron is in LA, and, you know.
My squad, man.
Right? That's my boy right there. And, your boy Melo's in Houston. He's a Rocket now. What do you guys think this is going to happen this year? Do you guys think the Warriors are going to just run off with it again, or do you think the Lakers could give them a run for their money, or Houston with a healthy Chris Paul this time, maybe for 7 games in the series?
Yo, that's the thing with the Warriors. Like, as good as they are, they've been pushed to the brink a couple years, or 2 out of 3 years. It was, or before KD left. Yeah, Cleveland beat them in the playoffs. But out in the West, OKC pushed them to 7 games.
Should have won that series.
Houston just had.
And then last year, if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, maybe they beat them.
Right.
You know, so to say that they can't be beat, like at, you know, super team that, you know, when Boogie's healthy, they're gonna have an all-star starting lineup. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
So to sit here and be like, I don't think they're gonna win. At the end of the day, I think it's Warriors versus everybody. Mm-hmm. But they can lose. And I don't think it's going to be the Lakers this year, although I think they're going to be very good. I think my Lakers are going to be like top.
Yes, sir.
I think my Lakers going to be they're going to be like a 4 or 5 seed in the West, I feel like.
This year?
This year.
Okay.
But I feel like even with Melo and his curse, he's so bad, yo.
Yeah.
Even with Melo,
he's playing out of his era. He's in the wrong era.
And I mean, that's the thing with Houston. Like, they have Chris Paul, they have James Harden, but they lost Trevor Ariza. They lost, you know, like they lost
defense
pieces that helped them get to Game 7 against the Warriors last year. So, I mean, they're going to push the tempo. They're going to score a lot of points. I don't know if you can go toe-to-toe scoring with the Warriors.
Right.
And then, you know, it's hard to bet against them right now. Yeah. You know, and I think it would take almost a perfect games for a Houston, for Lakers, or somebody in the West to beat them. And OKC maybe.
Does Boston stand a chance?
They have the talent.
They look good.
Yeah. They got an all-star starting too.
On paper, you pencil them right in there too.
Right.
Again, until we see how all these guys play together, it's hard to tell. Right. You know, Kyrie missed half the season last year in the playoffs. Gordon Hayward was gone after 5 minutes. Right. So literally. So we'll see how they gel. I think they got to be the favorites in the East. Right. Them, and then Philly, and then whoever. But it'll be a fun season. I'm thinking. You know, again, I think it's Warriors and then everybody else. But it's going to take either a perfect series in the playoffs for somebody to knock them off, or an injury. You know, KD was hurt last year. Mm-hmm. He came back. He played well, but he was hurt. He was banged up. Curry was hurt a couple years ago in the playoffs. Even
last year he was hurt. He missed the first series, and he missed the first 2 games of that Pelicans.
So, I mean, you know, again,
don't give LA Bron any chance. Don't give that man a glimpse of a hole to fit himself in, because we are vastly, I said we, as a Laker fan, I feel like the Lakers are vastly underrated because of the whole shooter dynamic. Shooters are not always what we expect them to look like. We had, Kyle Kuzma shot 39% from the three last year. Yeah. Josh Hart shot 40%. Lonzo, as bad as he was, let me not touch on Lonzo because I don't want him to kill me. But I feel like there's enough there. Lance Stevenson is an underrated player. He's not a star, but he's going to give you, he's shown you he's not scared of dudes. He's gotten LeBron's grill plenty of times. So, JaVale McGee, he's not a great player, but he's going to get you a double-double if you throw them. Just don't let him put it on the ground. JaVale, please. The other day, I watched him shoot a fadeaway and I held my breath. It was preseason and I held my breath. So JaVale McGee just got to go up there and catch it, rebound, push the pace, run the floor. He's going to get easy buckets. I think there's enough talent there for us to upset somebody. I don't know if it's Houston. I don't know if it's Golden State. But I will say the only team that I know definitively could beat the Lakers The only team that I would say, yeah, they could beat us right now, only Golden State. I am not afraid of Houston. We talked about it offline. Like, if Houston beats Golden State last year, LeBron's a champion.
Yeah.
I think Cleveland would have won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think LeBron would have gone and lost to James Harden in the finals. I do not see that.
Either. And I'll, before you go, Jay, I think the thing with LeBron when he went back to Cleveland was let LeBron be the facilitator, get shooters around him, a Ray Allen, a Kyle Korver, like get Channing Frye, J.R. like get people around him so that he can drive and dish. The thing is that hasn't worked. He won one time.
Right.
The thing that I like about this Lakers team is that it's molded more towards the state of the NBA now,
right,
where you've got to be you got to be athletic, you got to be able to switch, and that's how the Warriors play.
Right.
So to have 5 players on the court that can switch on, a Steph Curry who's going to be running around 8 screens on a possession, like that's going to be beneficial, and that could be something that plays into that potential series if we see it.
And it takes LeBron off the ball. Like his usage rate goes down. Like you got 5 guys on the floor who can handle it. Brandon Ingram can handle it. He's 6'9". You got Kyle Kuzma who can handle it. You got Lonzo who we know can handle it. You got Rondo who we know can handle it.
Yeah.
You got Beasley who could occasionally handle it. So we have guys who could make plays. Lance Stevenson. Yep. We have guys who can make plays for LeBron instead of LeBron having to set everyone
up. But
what
happens on 2 possessions in a row in a close game when they don't make the plays and LeBron says, I'm the point guard now.
Then LeBron,
look at me. I'm the point guard now.
I think that happens. It's going to happen.
But for the whole season, now you're fine with it turning into the younger Cavaliers, a more promising Cavs team?
No, because I think
it's going to happen?
I think Brandon Ingram could go get you a bucket. I think you could throw it to Brandon Ingram, say, go get me a bucket right now. I'm not saying he's going to get it every time.
Does he want to do that this season?
Oh, have you heard him talk? He's saying he's been humbled so long.
I've heard what he's saying, and it also sounds like he's really upping his trade value. I've heard that also too.
If it's for Anthony Davis, keep talking, Ingram. Please, Brandon Ingram, keep talking that talk if you're upping your trade value for the Pelicans, because Davis
you don't want him going to Boston.
Why would we trade him to Boston?
That's where
you talking about Anthony Davis. I thought you talking about
Anthony Davis.
If he goes to Boston, I'm done. He cannot go to Boston.
Him and Kyrie been talking.
I heard, but the plan is he's a clutch sports guy now, so LeBron got inside information.
All right.
So Anthony Davis is from what I'm being told, he will be traded to the Lakers, or that's the plan for the Lakers to trade for him, and then sign Kevin Durant in the summer, and then have a big 3 of Kevin Durant, AD, and KD, and the NBA will never be the same.
Nobody cares about Kawhi on the Lakers anymore now?
Well, that whole Clippers stuff turned me off. I don't want, who wants to play for the Clippers, man? What are you talking about? It's like the Brooklyn Nets. Who wants to play for the Nets instead of the Knicks? What are we doing? So Kawhi got to change this, unless people are lying. But right now, I want Kevin Durant. And I already told you, I think Kevin Durant's a Laker next year. I believe it. There's nothing else to do in Golden State.
That's hard. Because he's sensitive, man.
He's not anymore. He doesn't.
He is. He's still on Twitter. Did you see there was a meme about there was a snake on the golf course?
He said, I'll get out your way.
Yeah, he said, my fault, let me get out your way real quick. He's trying to help himself out with that, being self-deprecating. He's sensitive, man.
But can we
everything? So he couldn't handle it even now still about the Golden State move. Is he strong enough as a person?
Could we kill him any more though than what we did for Golden State?
If you went to play with LeBron,
I think that would be helping his image, if anything. It's like, you left the evil empire. Go take him down now. Maybe we'll like you again.
When KD kicked down the door and said, I'm going to go to Golden State, even though Steph is Steph, they didn't have a guy where it's like, this is my team, I'm the one that's doing this stuff here. They look like an upgraded version of the Pistons teams we're talking about, where you have elite 4 guys here. And
you don't
KD
think it's
said,
Steph's team?
Say what?
You don't think it's Steph's team?
I think it's Steph's team in the media.
Right.
Because
I agree.
he's the good-looking guy with
KD's the best player. Right.
Family and everything.
Yeah.
But when KD got there, they said, KD could take this thing.
Right.
He could take this thing to the next level. If he goes to the Lakers, you're not saying, okay, give KD the ball, and this is happening. Now we're talking about, when is LeBron going to give him the ball? Now he stands behind LeBron and the team pictures, shoulder to shoulder. He's got a little shadow on him.
Don't do that.
He's got a little shadow on him. I think KD likes where he's at, where, he doesn't have to all the way defer unless he wants to.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Steph's team. I'm cool. I'll be over here. When it's the Lakers, it's like, KD, this isn't your team. then it's like, well, why did I come here? If you're gonna clown me like that, why did I come here?
Yo, you trying to kill my job? I think it's happening. I really do. Like when KD signed with the Warriors 3 years ago, they asked him, why didn't you take an interview with the Lakers? At that time, we were a dumpster fire. We had Mitch Kupchak, Jim Buss. We were horrible. And he said, the Lakers are not there yet. He's like, I like the team, but they're not there yet. In a couple of years, I would understand. Couple of years is just about now. Like, this is 3 years. You're going to get your three-peat. You're going to be amongst the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan and the Kobe's and get three-peats. What else is there left to do? We're not going to like you ever again if you stay Golden State. Like, I love KD. Like, the more he wins, the more I'm going to I'm going to just not like him. So, what are you going to do instead of going to one of the biggest franchises in basketball history and play with one of the biggest, like, I heard they want to be better than Jordan and Pippen. That's what I've been hearing. Like, that's the rumor. They want to be the greatest duo.
Why does he want to win more? If he has 3, all right, what's the difference? Because he becomes an all-time great now. As time goes, the asterisk fades. Oh, he played with Steph and he got it with him. He got it with Draymond. He got it with Clay.
So where would he go?
That fades.
Where would he go?
When you start making these super teams, because dudes want rings, because that automatically jumps you over Barkley and jumps you over, you know, Dan Marino in a different sport, right? Automatically.
Right.
So now that you have 3, why are you running and chasing more for the Lakers? And like I said, he's a human being. So when he's not playing for those 2 hours, he looks at his phone like me and you. And when he gets the notifications like me and you, he's seeing a lot more negativity. And then he has to sleep with that. Out of how many hours of a week, he's only playing basketball for, like, you know, less than 10 of them.
Right.
So he's looking at his phone and he's seeing all this. Is that worth it? He has to live like that. His family's going to get shaded. His mom maybe can't sit courtside. Like, this is a personal thing he has to deal with if he goes to the Lakers, where if he stays where he's at, and I don't think they're going to win every single year. I think in a couple of years, you know, more super teams, it's going to fall apart somehow.
I agree.
But why leave if you got what you got going on? Personally, it's going to affect you so heavily, and there's no guarantee you're going to win.
He can't retire there, though. He just can't. Like, you can't.
He's going to retire in D.C.
You really think so?
He's not going there anytime soon. But when he starts falling apart, and you can't be 150 pounds forever.
Just to play for home team?
Maybe. Why not, right? Where else is he going to go? You're going to chase ring? You're going to be that elite and then be fine being called a ring chaser.
That's the
forever?
thing. He can't be ring chasing anymore because he already did. Like, he can't. There's no worse move than Golden State. There's no worse move than that. Going to LA would not make it worse.
Going to anywhere LeBron is. If you consider yourself elite and you think that you're equal to him,
right?
And then people were putting him like right here last year, right? Sure. He's here. Then why would you go play with this guy and put yourself here?
He wants to be happy.
He wants to win, I guess?
He wants to win and be happy.
You want to be Robin to his Batman? You want to do that?
You got it, bro. Your rebuttals are on point. It's legit. It's legit. I just think it's I don't know. Maybe I'm a Laker fan.
I think professionally, yeah. It's like this could be fun on the court. We could win a lot of games. But personally, he has to say goodbye to Draymond. He has to say goodbye to those guys. And how's that going to be personally?
Bro.
But he has to tell these guys, right? He has to walk up to them and say, I'm leaving.
No, he doesn't. He didn't tell Russ nothing.
But then he had to face Russ, didn't he?
And then they was cussing each other out.
And then if it's Draymond, is a little next level, right? Draymond kicks people in the groin and stuff, in the face and stuff like that.
I'm done, yo. We got to wrap it up.
I'm just saying.
Yo.
Watch out. Stay where you're at.
Yo. Johns, any final words?
Yo. Nah, I mean, nice sitting down with y'all, man. This was a lot of fun.
We could keep going. Like, this is nice. We need to save some stuff.
That's definitely. I know probably everything won't air, but this was definitely a lot of fun, and I like the generic talk that we didn't really plan on what we're gonna say, just kind of like flow. And yeah, we do it again next episode, man. Sessions.
I can't feel no pressure. I've been out here running crazy like I'm trying to break a record. Hard to feel the pressure. When you living how I'm living, you just try to do it better. Yeah. Look, I just need a second. I'm not worried about connections, I'm just trying to stay connected. Yeah, hard to feel the pressure. When you live behind me.